This is the story of a young boy who was lazy and how he overcame and uses his laziness toward his goal. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young boy named Juan who was known for his laziness. He lived with his parents in a modest house on the outskirts of town. Each day, Juan helped his father in the fields, but his only task was to scare away the birds that would eat their rice crops. While others used sticks or slingshots to chase the birds, Juan, unwilling to exert too much effort, came up with a different plan. He built wooden poles around the field and connected them with ropes, allowing him to scare the birds while lying down and relaxing. Juan's father worried about his son's laziness, thinking, if I fall ill, how will Juan manage the farm? But since Juan always managed to get his tasks done, his father never confronted him about it. One particularly hot summer, during a dry spell, Juan's father became seriously ill, and Juan was left to tend to the fields alone. Though he tried, he wasn't used to such hard work, and soon the crops began to wither due to a lack of water. Juan couldn't keep up, and the field started to fail. One night, as he sat under the stars, feeling defeated, he thought, why didn't I ever work harder? Now, my family's future is slipping away. The next morning, Juan overheard a commotion in the village. A soldier had arrived, announcing a grand competition at the king's palace, with a chest of gold as the prize for the winner. Desperate to help his family, Juan decided to enter the competition without a second thought. The villagers laughed at him, thinking, how can someone as lazy as Juan win against the strong competitors from all over the kingdom? But Juan wasn't discouraged. He had 3 days to reach the palace, and so he set off early. Though his parents doubted he could win, they hoped the challenge would push him to change his lazy habits. When Juan arrived, the competition began. The first task was to cross a large lake, and only the top 3 finishers would move on to the next round. As the participants lined up, Juan grew anxious seeing how strong and fit the others were. When the race began, everyone leaped into the water and started swimming. But Juan stayed behind, realizing he couldn't compete by swimming alone. Instead, he darted into the nearby forest, gathered broken branches, and quickly fashioned a small raft. Using a piece of wood as a paddle, Juan thought to himself, this is a race to cross the lake, not just a swimming race. I may not be strong, but I can be smart, Juan thought. While the others grew tired from swimming, he steadily paddled across the lake on his makeshift raft. Slowly but surely, he overtook many of them. In the end, Juan finished in 3rd place, securing his spot in the next round. 2 strong contestants also qualified. The following day, the final challenge began. Each contestant was given a large wooden block, and the task was to push it 1 kilometer to the finish line. Behind them lay various tools, but they could only choose one. The first contestant quickly grabbed a rope and started pulling his block. The second chose a piece of wood to use as a lever. But Juan didn't rush. He carefully examined the tools, thinking, I can't win with strength alone. I need to use my mind. After a moment, Juan chose a small knife. The crowd was puzzled. How could a knife help him move such a large block? Instead of trying to push the block, Juan began carving it. He worked patiently, shaping the block into a round ball. After an hour, he was done. Now, instead of a cumbersome block, Juan had a wooden ball. While the others struggled with their blocks, he easily rolled his ball down the road, catching up to them. With all his effort and determination, Juan was the first to cross the finish line. The crowd erupted in cheers. No one had expected the lazy boy to win. The moral of the story is that intelligence and creativity can often triumph over brute strength and hard work alone. By thinking outside the box and using smart solutions, even seemingly impossible challenges can be overcome. Success is not just about physical ability. It's about using your mind to find better ways to achieve your goals.